In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating some concepts for clients who are contraindicated to electrical facelifting. If they can't use the galvanic current, then we're going to need to do it manually. And one of the newer terms for a manual facelift was referred to as facial modeling. And to be very honest, I had no idea what that word meant, so I had to look it up. So when I looked it up, they showed a picture of a sculpture on somebody who's literally sculpted the face. And so what this concept is that you can take a face and by exercising it, contour. So when I pull in my lips, okay, you can see the contour, and it actually does work. But I need to know my anatomy. I need to know the origin, the fixed attachment. I need to know the insertion, and I need to know where the nerve ending is, or I can't do this. So in one of the weeks we study that intensely, and this is why. The concept for exercise, and it doesn't matter whether you watch the Jane Fonda workout. Well, it does matter if you watch it. You're not going to have a benefit if you watch it. You literally have to get up and do it. But when you're watching videos on exercise, they all have the same concept. You need to warm up a muscle before you exercise it. And in facial modeling, we use effleurage as the warm-up because that's the calming, soothing, no movement. Then we actually do our exercise with our petrissage and our circular finger frictions. And then when we go to the nerve ending, we're going to apply pressure and or rotation. So when I'm looking at the fifth cranial nerve, that's your major sensory nerve, it's in the temple area. This is always a rotation, but it's gentle. You never apply pressure on the fifth cranial, you'll give them a headache. Then the seventh cranial nerve is the facial, and it's right in front of the ear. This is the major motor nerve, and this one I apply pressure with my rotations, or I can just apply pressure and vibrate. The 11th cranial is the same as my 1 and 5th meridian points, and they're on either side of the spinal cord at the back of the head. So as we start a facial massage, and it's for this particular purpose, you can pick a massage medium of your choice. It doesn't matter, but it needs to have an oil base so it stays on the surface of the skin. This is the time I don't want her skin to absorb the oil. I want to stay slick on top because I'm going to be doing a regular massage. And it's basically mostly on the face. So if you want to spread your massage medium, I'm not to put the dots on, spread it, smooth it across the face. And if you want to start on the décolleté, that's okay just to relax her, but we don't do facial modeling in this area. It's strictly for the face. But as I'm spreading, if I just want to help her relax, then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to come up to the face, but I'm going to start on the forehead. And I personally start at where the eyebrow ends, and it's effleurage. When I'm doing effleurage, my fingers are like this. My wrist is not moving. Okay, it's strictly 1, 2, 3. Then at the arch, 2, 3. Where the hair of the eyebrow begins, 2, 3. The center forehead, 2, 3. At the eyebrow, 2, 3. At the arch, 2, 3. Where the eyebrow ends, 2, 3. This is a half a movement. As I come back across this way, okay, and I'm coming back, I'm warming up the muscle. Normally a warm-up is going to be done 3 times. That's 1, coming back across the forehead to the other side, and now that's 1.5, and over here, this makes 3, coming across. Now I'm on my 3rd one. As I'm working my way across, I'm doing effleurage. Now I have a choice as to when I get back here, whether I do my circular finger frictions, it doesn't matter, but I like to just switch into the lift. Okay, now my palm is facing you. I put my finger on the hair of the brow and I roll it, and then the palm is facing me. So it's a lift and roll. Now you notice my wrists are moving. When I get to the arch of the brow, right between the arch and the hairline. You feel a depression in the muscle. This is a meridian point. This is where the nerve of the frontalis muscle is. I pause, I apply pressure, and I vibrate. If I don't elicit a response from the nerve ending, I'm not modulating, I'm just giving her a rest facial. So it's lift and all the way across now. Then when I get to the arch of the other eyebrow, I want to feel, I need to teach my fingers to feel for that indentation where the nerve ending is, and it's at the between the arch and the hairline, and I'm going to press and release, and then I'm going to lift and roll. Then I'm going to do an effleurage on the temple. Then it's lift and roll, lift and roll. When I get to the arch, I apply pressure and I vibrate. Lift, roll, lift, roll. When I get to the arch of this one, press, release. Now, how many I do effleurage depends on how much expression is on the forehead. I don't call them wrinkles, but that's what they are. We call them expression lines. You raise your forehead and they go, oh, really? And then you frown. And so there's some have a lot of expression, some don't have any. So once again, I'm going to base the amount of manipulation that I do on the amount of expression on the forehead. And these are the horizontal lines on the frontalis. If there's not many, then a set of 3 is sufficient. I can then go into my half moon, and I'm going to pause on that nerve ending again. Vibrate with pressure, circular finger frictions to the other arch. Where I pause, I have to feel that indentation in the frontal bone. I apply pressure and vibration, my circular finger frictions, and then I come back to the other side. Now, if, once again, there's a lot of expression on this face, press, then I'm going to separate my fingers like this. I'm going to open my fingers, and this is going to take a circle, and I'm going to follow it across her forehead. And then I'm going to come back the other direction, open my fingers, and I'm going to come back with my circular finger frictions up. And once again, that depends. But now I'm ready to separate my hands. So I lift, I make the butterfly. Now remember, I warmed it up, I exercised it, now I cool it down. So with this, I'm going to apply pressure, and then I'm going to come back up with a butterfly, and I'm going to get lighter and lighter to the effleurage. So I'm cooling down this muscle. I don't want to leave the carbon dioxide cellular waste up in the skin. I need to cool it down, the butterfly. Then I'm going to go around the eye. The orbicularis oculi has 3 nerve endings. One is under the arch of the brow, one is at the corner of the eye, and the other one is right underneath. Otherwise, you couldn't open and close your eye. Well, that was open. This is close. Close, open, and close your eye. Okay, and then the corrugator, where the hair of the brow begins and the arch is. This is the corrugator, and it's part of the eye muscles, facial muscles that make you get the vertical wrinkle. The procerus is another one. The procerus comes up here and across. So because there's an origin here from the procerus, I don't want to pull it across, but I'm going to lay my finger on the hair of her brow. I'm going to apply pressure and vibrate, release the pressure. Then I'm going to lift the eyebrow onto the frontal bone, apply pressure, release the pressure, go to the corner of the eye, apply gentle pressure, circular finger frictions toward the nose. When I get to underneath, I'm going to apply pressure. When I get into the corner of the eye, I'm going to just come up. So it's press, release, lift and press, gentle press, circular finger frictions, or you can do tapotement, digital tapping across here. It's your choice. Sometimes circular finger frictions will bring the massage cream up too close to the eye, and if it gets in it, it's going to burn it. But digital tapping doesn't. or you can do both. And then I'm going to apply pressure on the side of the nose. Press, release, press, release, press, release, little tapping and or frictions to the nose. Once again, how many I do depends on how much expression is in this area. And then I'm going to cool it down with effleurage. Okay. Then as I come across here, I'm going to bring this hand over and I'm going to warm up this cheek with effleurage. Now, the fingers here on this hand are going to grip the muscle right in front of her ear and lift. This is effleurage. This is a lift. Now I'm at the 7th, pressure and vibrate or rotations and lift. This hand is effleurage. This one with my fingers only is a lift because the temporalis muscle comes around like a reverse question mark and it comes down here. This is the insertion, this is the origin. But the muscles here originate down here, so I'm not going to lift this. It's a lift with this, okay, and effleurage here. Then I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to lay it, my middle finger and ring finger. The muscles of the cheek have two origins. The upper jaw, where your upper teeth are, the lower one where your lower teeth are. I can't pluck the cheeks without violating my rule of massage. I can't lift, pull, tug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my finger at the corner of her mouth and my finger right between the nostril and the eye. I'm going to lay my hand flat. I'm going to apply pressure on these two fingers so that I catch all of the nerve endings that are in the cheek. Then I'm going to release that pressure and effleurage back. Now this hand is effleurage. So I'm going to press, vibrate, release, effleurage, effleurage. Press in the corners, and I've got to make sure I get all of this. So my fingers are flat, and then I release the pressure, I effleurage back, and now I cool it down. This is my effleurage. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Because in that, before you start that, if you want to do tapotement on this side of the cheek, you can. It's your choice. I don't usually do it, so that's why I left it out. But this is effleurage. And now I've got to work myself over to the other side of the face where I repeat that. Now this, gotta tighten up my head a little bit. Okay, now these fingers lift. This is first effleurage to warm up. Okay, and then lift with these fingers, effleurage, lift, effleurage, lift. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. Press, vibrate, release it, slide back. Okay, effleurage, press, vibrate, release, and go back to effleurage to cool it down. Then as I come under her chin, okay, I have this, sometimes a little puff under here. Sometimes I have my vertical wrinkles in here. A lot of times it's the way you apply your makeup because the insertion is the lower lip, the origin is the chin, so my movements go down, not up. Okay, so as I'm working my way across here, these fingers are going down, okay, and I'm going to work my way across the jawbone, and I'm going to come back to the other side, and I'm going to massage across here. And then I'm going to cool it down with no movement, and then I'm going to do my roll patting. Whip it good. Okay, and it's a tapping, okay, because I don't want to take any muscle from its insertion away from its origin. Okay, and then I'm going to cool it down, and then I'm going to come down the throat and around, and I'm done with my manual face lift.